was a man who had two boys. The younger of them said to his father, "Give me that part of your goods that belongs to me." So the father gave him his share. Not many days afterwards, the young man gathered all his things that belonged to him and went away in a far country. There he wasted all he had. When he had spent everything, a big disease came over the country, and he began to be in need. There was a man who had two sons. The younger of them said to his father, "Give me that part of your goods that belongs to me." So the father gave him his share. Not many days afterwards, the young man gathered all his belongings together and sent away in a far country. There he wasted all that he had. When he had spent everything, a great famine came over the country, and he began to pay in bonds.
Build the ricks. Oh yes, well, building the ricks in the field or in the barn. Lots of the corn years gone by used to be put in the barn. And then the thrash machine used to come into the barn to thrash it in the winter time. Or what you couldn't get in the barn was put in ricks. And of course, sometimes they were thrashed soon after harvest, sometimes they were thatched and stayed out for good beef.
Then got a barn ready, you see, later out on the barn, we're likely they got a young'un or something coming along, tying the sheaves up. And then when they got along, and so that they just got time before it got dark, like to stand them up, and then they used to shock them up. But some animals nearly like those faggots, you know, they used to get over in it, though pikeys, they used to come along and a bit of corn, you see, they...
Put a heap of straw in and shook it all up and watered it, and then drawed out these bundles and took it up on a fork on your banks. And big place where you used to keep all the deers and that in. Deers running and cows went into the park, what they called comping side, comping down. You used to keep cows all around there. And now they've done away with all the cows up park, and they've let the land to some farmers for to grow corn. There's no deers now. They're all gone.
Well, there ain't much altered in the village. The village is the same now as it was, well, ever since I can remember, isn't it? There's no difference in it.
There is some.
Only a few new houses put up.
Well, that's something.
Yeah, well, how many? Only, in the Perrys.
I went back, well, not actually it was on the farm too, but the governor had some nags. We used to keep 6 horses, 2 trap horses, and 4 hunters. And they used to hunt twice a week, and I used to take the children to school with you. 1 trap horse, out in the morning, fetch them, take them in the morning, fetch them at night. And then I kept...
I only followed that through for 1 12-month, and I took to a stable of horses. Of course, that improves the wages. We had 12 shillings a week then, and a cottage to live with at work. Of course, that was as good as, I mean to say, 4 more shillings on top of the wages. And we followed that through until the 14-18 war, and then you see things begun to improve and jump up.
There were a man that had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, "Give I that part of your goods that belong to I." So the father gave him his share. Not many days afterwards, the young man got all his things together and went away to a far country. There he got rid of all he had. When he got rid of everything, a great famine came over the country, and he began to want some of it.
the men had to go round the country to the straw ricks and draw all the better straws out of the ricks and make them into great big bundles. And pull all the best straws out, you see, and make them all level into a big, well, we should call them trusses of straws, but they was bigger than that range, you see. Well, then they was, the man was, they used to bring them round to the people. There was a man down at the bottom of Buckton, used to strip the straws. He used to have so many each and cut them down.
Well, a fare now today from Cambridge Heath to Bloomsbury used to be, didn't it? No, Leabridge Road to Bloomsbury. It used to be twopence.
Threepence return.
Threepence return. Today at least it would cost you 3 shillings. And it might be a little more, but I'm not quite sure of it today.
But from here to Dalston